Okay, so let's see what we can do with this. Not a typical bike I would work on. It's a Chinese bike, Jianshe 90cc. I've probably murdered that. I think it's pronounced Jianshe. Anyway, it's a Honda copy, as you can probably see. 90cc, a 4-speed box, I believe. Now, the reason I've got this out is my daughter has expressed an interest in learning how to ride a bike. So this is just about the right size for her, and it's been lying in the garage for quite some time, so I'm bringing it out. I'm going to give it a good assessment, a good looking over, good check over, see what it needs, and see if it's going to be suitable for her. Obviously my main priority here is to make sure that it's safe. I'm not going to put my daughter on something that's unsafe, so that is my priority here, is to make sure that it is suitable, and if it's not suitable I'll get her something else. I know the chap who owned the bike. His son, I think it was about 10 years ago or something, he bought that, and so he's had good fun on it. He's told me he's not had much bother with it. However, it's not ran for quite some time, and it does look like there's a bit of work, shall we say, needing done here and there. You can see where it's been patched up here in the mudguard. I mean, that's not a big deal, that's easily sorted out. So I'm going to get it in the garage, see if I can get it started, and my first priority, if I do get it started, is to get that front brake sorted out. So let's dive into it and see what we can do. Oh, that's probably not a good sign there. Broken cap. Notice actually it's got an electric start on it up here. Probably not a battery in it though. Anyway, let's get this plug out. I've loosened it. See what's going on. I kicked it over, but it's not firing at all. Come on. What's this? I'm pretty sure that's not standard equipment. It's probably been a shorter plug that's been in there, and somebody's tried to modify this one. Oh, there's another one in there as well. Okay, so we need to do something about that. The plug is pretty wet. Now see what we can find out the correct plug is for that. The only thing I'm finding that's similar thread with a shorter electrode on it is this one. None of my new plugs are suitable here, so I'll need to find out what the right one is, but for testing purposes this one might do, just to run it. I think this is actually from a chainsaw or a strimmer, something like that. So I think the first thing to do is put it in. I wasn't sure about this kill switch, what is on and what is off. I would imagine, since it's a kid bike, that would be the on position and that would be the off position, because it's easier to get to. So let's test my theory, assuming of course there's any kind of power in it. See a spark there? There's a spark there. The other thing I'm not sure about is the fuel, what way this tap works. I know there's fuel in it for sure, but this generally reserve is kind of, there's a 0 up there, so I think it's only there and there, so I'll just need to try one and see what happens. Obviously there's fuel been getting through, so let's try it there, see what happens there. So it's camera down. gone very far, but yeah, we'll need to find out what the correct plug is for this engine. If that information is available. Oh, it's a bit tricky. What's going on? Make sure you're okay there. This little insulator plug could come off. I'll just put it back on. Shoot. Something for that. Yeah. Position. Go with that anyway. Let's investigate further. So I'm just noticing the fuel might be off because when I put a blowtorch on the plug there wasn't any flames coming from it, so who knows how long this has been in there. So we'll get it drained, drain the carb and put some fresh fuel in and see if it makes a difference. There's a little carb drain screw there, so loosen that, it should drain off the remainder what's in the bowl. Let that run. So the one thing I'm going to mention here is when you're doing anything like this, now there's been a bit of a wire modification, shall we say, going on down here, and obviously the fuel's been running here, so I don't know what's going on, what kind of charge is there. So before I attempt to start this bike, I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to power wash this and make sure there's no fuel. Let's take the paint off the engine as well, see that, because the last thing you want is an explosion. So always think critically if you're draining fuel. Look where it's running, where it goes to dispose of it properly, and be very careful if it's running over cables like this. Some new fuel in. actually sounds okay. I think that's what the problem's been. I think the fuel's been bad. It sounds pretty smooth, responsive, not much wrong with that. I think I'll give it a wee clean up just to start with. This little body part just comes away, a couple of screws here and one there, so it just lifts off to expose the sort of bare bones down here. The battery is there, as we saw earlier. I thought it was in a battery box, but it's made up of cable ties. Fair enough, it's holding it tight enough, but we'll do something with that. Yeah, back to this bit here. The swing arm bearings. I don't know what they look like, what type they are, whether they're bushes or bearings or whatever, or bronze or fibre, I don't know, we'll find out soon enough. So that'll need to come off. I've loosened the front caliper. The pads look pretty decent in it. However, it's the piston's a wee twin pot, which is nice, like a Nissan copy. However, it's definitely sticking. The wheels nice and free. I think I'll take it off anyway and check the bearings. I think I can hear a very slight rumble there. Check them anyway. So we'll get this lot off and get the caliper stripped down. So this 12mm nut comes off, and then this plate, the slider, should come out. Yeah. And that should let me get these pads out. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, there they are. Take them. Still tight. Probably not well. No, slightly on the way. So just like I think it's off the thread now. It's probably just corroded on the inside that it's holding it in. Yeah, probably need a pair of pliers and pull it. There we go. And the pads just jump out for there. Okay, what I'm intending down now is to get these pistons out. The best way to do that is just to pump the lever and see if they'll come out. There we go. Get them out as far as they can. I'm just going to encourage the other one with the pliers, so I'll need to put this camera down a minute. I pushed this one back in, which then pushed this one out, so just so that I can get them kind of even, at an even pace. I'll get them out through there, I think. It's just to get them all out. This one I think is the one that's been sticking. It was pretty, when I was turning it with the pliers there, it was really resisting. So yeah, I think that's the one that's been causing the problem, but they're a bit grubby anyway, I can see that. So we'll get the pistons completely out of them and get on with the next bit. So that's them out, and you know, although they're marked here and there, I think they're serviceable. They're not too badly corroded just at the end here. You'd expect that, so they'll get polished up. I've just let the system drain, and I'll take the caliper off, and then we'll get into the seals there, and probably be corrosion behind them, so we'll get that cleaned up, and we'll flush the system through just to give it a wee clean. This is the banjo bolt that holds the line onto the caliper, and if you notice there's sealing washers either end, so you just have to be careful that you put them back in that order, because they have to be sealed on both sides. Because the inside's pretty grubby, as you can see, I'm just going to put it in the parts washer and give it a little clean out before we dismantle it. So I should get most of the grime away from it. So I'm going to do is remove these seals. You see them, so just going to do it very gently with a pick, and try not to destroy them in the process. So we'll see how that goes. Be very gentle, get underneath them. Two. Oh. Try to escape. 3. By the way, these are soft jaws, and if you're doing anything like this, it's advisable to use that so you don't damage anything. The soft jaws just clamp onto the vise. Sometimes they're a bit of a pain because they can move around. These are not particularly great ones. There we go. That's them removed, and I'm expecting, yeah, I don't know if you can see in there, but there's bits of corrosion, and generally this is what happens. The corrosion gets behind the seal, and then it pushes the seal into the piston, and that causes it to jam. So we're going to get in there with the Dremel and give that a good clean. I tend to like these, the sort of brass ones. They're less abrasive but just as effective. So these ones will fit directly in the groove, and they don't need much, they just need a little clean through. So the 4 of them will get a little touch up there. So, You can see the corrosion coming up there. And I'm doing the bottom one now. Sides. Check all that. If you can see that, they look pretty clean. Okay, so we're certainly getting the rain they promised us. The pretty CB500. So I'll let it sit out there for a while yet. I've not got room for her. Okay, back to the blasting. So now that that's done, I'm going to put it in the parts washer again just to clean out all the oil waste. So I'll get that done, and I'm also going to polish up these pistons. Now this wheel here is a brass wheel. I know you can get steel ones, but I prefer to use brass because they're less abrasive. So we'll give it a little spin. Not need much at all. So they're certainly very serviceable. And the pins. So that's better, they should slide, the pads should slide easier over them now. I've put the hose, the main hose, and I'm going to put this master cylinder in the tank for a little while, not too long because there's seals in there, but it's pretty grubby, so that'll need a clean up. Get it in there for a little while, 10 minutes or so should do that, and I'll give it a good scrub. So there she is. Looking much better than what it did before it went in. Sorry about the noise, it looks like the roadworks have started. So everything's cleaned up, ready to go. I'm just going to use a little bit of rubber grease in these components here. Okay, so let's get it rebuilt. Now they can be a bit tricky to get in, so what I find is by sort of slightly bending it and fitting it into the groove as much as you can, and then gently working it around where something blunt like a Phillips screwdriver or something like that tends to work. But it's very difficult for me to do it here. I need to take it out in the light and get a right look at it. But you see the other one is fitted in nice and snugly. So I'll see if I can get it started here on the camera. I've got to hold it quite close to me here. Again, this is where a little bit of rubber grease just helps. It just helps to grip the seal into the groove. It's just the tiniest amounts really. So you're just getting it in like this and getting it started, and then you can push it round. So if you look in there, you'll see that it's almost started. And I'll just push it round. And this last bit, I'll just push it down with the Phillips screwdriver, because it's not going to. If you use a flat blade, there's a chance you're going to tear the seal. So yeah, so you just need a bit of patience here with this. So that's it in, so all I'll have to do now is straighten it out. You got the other things to check that there's no twists on it, which there is on this one at the moment, so I just need to manipulate that straight again. And that's it, fully home now. Okay, so you just repeat with the top, the other ones as well, same process. All 4 seals in now, so it does take a wee while. You need a wee bit of patience for that. And you know, some of you might ask, is it worth replacing the seals? Absolutely, replace them if you can. I have no qualms of reusing these seals because they haven't lost any of their properties. They're in really good condition. I've never had a problem with doing that either, but I would recommend, if the seals are available, then yeah, absolutely renew them. These seals, I don't know where to get them. I could measure them and order them, but as I say, I have no qualms of reusing them. They'll be absolutely fine. So the next step is getting the pistons in. So sometimes this is an easy job, sometimes it's not, it just depends. But you really, the secret here is really getting the pistons square. And if you get the pistons square and very gently just, there's no rush for this, just taking your time, and there she goes, and nice and smooth, so there's no hesitation there with that piston. And repeating this side. So again, the secret here is getting it as square as you can, and just very gently. There we go. So there we have one refurbished caliper. Pretty happy with that. I think that should be absolutely fine. Obviously I'll test it once it's back on the bike. I've got in with the master cylinder now, and we'll bring that in the next video. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye safe. Bye for now. Bye.